if the water comes over now, what's going to happen? A simple thing, that's not simple actually. Things like that, they don't even care about, much less elections that's coming up. I have sat in groups and I have heard many of them say, you know what, I'm not going to vote. You know why I'm not going to go vote? Because the next person that goes into government, they might try to do the same thing that present government is doing. But sometimes I might push in and say, you know what, all of us are saying this and we're not going out to vote and all of this. But you know what, if we, the young people, now come out and say, you know what, I'm going to go out and vote, I have to meet all of these presidential candidates from the different parties, and we need to sit down and talk to them personally, put out legal documents where we sign with them, and during their reign in government there, 2-3 years or 1 to 2 years, and we cannot see what we have asked for. That document is there. We don't see these things, you're out. We'll put everyone there that will know will give us these things that we want.
And that's a mini Egypt in a sense, where, and it's our hope, and as a political candidate in preaching to the voting population, is we've got to all work together to get involved to do that. But yes, whoever becomes the guardian of the system has to ensure that they deliver on the things that are necessary for you guys to have a better future. But Vaughn, you've traveled around to Berbice. You were mentioning to Berbice, and you're seeing a lot of the sugar workers with sugar going down. What about retraining? Are we retraining our population for the future jobs? I mean, are you seeing any new industries as you travel around that you can look forward to a better job for you or your family or your children?
Well, we think that the sugar industry, obviously, there's a lot of problems in the sugar industry, and we think the idea, what you basically said about retraining, is an excellent idea. If as a society, if we know that an industry, because of what happened in Europe, there's not a demand for sugar like there used to be, if we know that we have a certain amount of workers and they cannot fit into the industry, then we need to do something with those workers. It's not like if we're operating with 2-3 million people in the country, we just have 700,000 people. Out of that, what percentage is working class, what percentage is in the sugar industry? We think that's where educational opportunity comes into the country. We think workers should be exposed to more educational opportunities, so that if they desire to work in another industry, to leave the sugar industry, that they should have that opportunity. If they want to learn computers, they should have the opportunity to learn computers. If they want to learn maybe advance their education in some other aspect, we think they should have that opportunity. And we think that well, not necessarily the government can't provide everything in the country, but we think that we should have the structure in the country to give them that opportunity.
But Tinsley, going back to you as this new voter, and you're now learning about the political system and what it means to your future. You mentioned jobs and opportunities. What, in growing up to this point, how do you, see, or have you heard your parents or relatives or family, what have they said about the political system? Is it good? Is it bad? It needs to change?
Well, from the time I've been growing up, the political system has not been getting any better. Because when you look at the inflation rate, it's very high. Back then, cost of living was very low. Now you have to pay the money that your parents are earning to support you, cannot support you and your siblings. Because I have about 3 small siblings than me. And my father is a retired prison officer, so that money cannot support us totally.
So you've seen him struggle and the system, basically the income level, the cost of living. And what I'm worried about, from all of us, with the Middle East issues going on, cost of living is going to go up because oil prices are going to go sky high. And Guyana now, we're still making the same salary, and we still have the highest VAT system around based on our income. Jane, how do you see though that given what Tinzi is saying, that the struggle of today's families, again going back to my original premise of the program, we're 41 years old, you want a better future, how could we get ourselves excited enough to say we've got to make this thing happen?
Well, it is not just we that wants a future. All of us want this bright future, but we just can't sit there and expect everything just to come to you just like that. Because let us go back to the teachers. They got 5% increase lately. Well, that story had died down. We have seen the headmaster who had promoted the children that didn't gain the pass mark. That story had died down. Story comes, story down, and nobody does anything about it. The unions, they are dead. Because they are not fighting for who they're supposed to be fighting for. Dr. Lanchan said that, I can't remember exactly which group, they will have the final say on their new recruitment of the foreigners to come in and teach. Okay, let us see where that will go. If teachers now, I'm not sure if how many of them have read or have heard of this new thing they want to do now. But if all of them were supposed to come together and stand up and say, you know what? Why can't we do this ourselves? We are good at what we do. We need the technology, we need the facilities. Take the money, put in these things, and let us improve.
So you're saying we've got to stand up much more.
Yeah.
We need to be much more passionate of it to make these things happen.
Yes.
Yeah? But, I mean, I think, going back to the Tinzi, I mean, if you think through what you describe of your environment, you want a better future for yourself and your future family. And what I'm sensing is that you believe that you've got to do those things differently to make their future better. And that's where we need to, I think what Jane is saying also is how do we do this together? How do we take our country to the next level? You know, give credit where credit is due.
But if I have looked at it, and it is not about just getting some people and coming out. We need everyone to come out. We need a high percentage of the population to come out and say, you know what? I'm not going to go to work and work for $45,000 and I can't support my family. I need to see that my salary is increased and all these other areas improved in order for me to, you know what, I need to perform better in my workplace and I need these things. But if you can't have the officials to listen to you, what is there to do?
And with that comes certain things. I mean, as a government, we ought to be looking at reducing taxes. We tax our population at 33% pay taxes, 16% VAT, 5.6% NIS. You still have to pay your car license coming up and your fitness and your rates and taxes. All those things you still. So at 45,000, I mean, with the tax ratio only at 40,000, you cannot make your life better.
Yeah, and there's another thing also in the papers the other day, the relocation of the vendors in the market. Well, we see that the president is going to meet with the penitence vendors. And you know what? If you go now and you get a group of them and you listen to them, they will be crying to you and they say, you know what? I can't go and sell there. People wouldn't want to come and buy there because, you know what, the area is not conducive enough. But when you see he meet with them, they're not going to be saying all these things, you know. They're going to be big smiles on their face. Oh, Mr. President, and the big hugs. And you know what? Sometimes it's just sickening to listen to them. And when they see the regional officials, it's a different story. It's like sometimes you think these people are happy the way they live. And it's sad.
And we've got to work very hard to ensure that we keep that momentum. And Tinzi, your future, as much of many other future of our new generation, depends on these things that happen today. And that's why, you know, in the political arena for this year, we have presented a plan that says this is our economic plan for our country. These are the things that we plan to do in order to ensure that you've got a decent living, you've got a better opportunities for new jobs. We've talked about the road to Brazil, we've talked about the Deepwater Harbor. I also saw the government proposing a Deepwater Harbor in Berbice. We have proposed a Deepwater Harbor in Essequibo. What tells me there's a lot of reasons why you do need a harbor in Berbice for oil and other things that we have potentially. But have we thought about all those big trucks that will be driving down now from Berbice to Georgetown and breaking up the roads, these big 18-wheeler trucks. So it's not about the Deepwater Harbor, but have we thought through? And these are the things that we are more upset that not that the ideas are bad, but there's no planning system.
In the way in which you go about doing it.
Yeah.
We have the embankment road. Why not use our road? That road in a state of
disarray. I mean, big potholes and all of that. Yeah. But as we get to the closing of the program, Tinsley, if there's one thing as you go to university Monday, what is your hope for Guyana? I mean, what is your one thing that you hope for Guyana?
I hope that the young people will take their life into account and look at what the future will be like, because you need to put your rights into a hand that could control you into the right direction and lead you into the right way, because the young people are the future of tomorrow and we need to really pay attention to that.
It's good. I mean, it is a challenge for all of us. If you're a politician watching out there, or you're a mother with young children, and we need to pay attention to the fact that it's not just about you and me, it's about all of us, as Tinsley is saying. How do we work together for that better future? Vaughn, you are a little more experienced, you've been in the professional field. As you close, I mean, what is your hope? What is the one thing that you just wake up every morning and just want to happen in Guyana?
Well, basically, I would go back to what's going on in Egypt and the revolutionary changes sweeping across the Middle East. I would like to see young people in Guyana galvanized, excited politically. In Guyana, politics is a bad word, and we don't think it should be. I would like to see Guyanese more involved in shaping the destiny of their country. And so as I look towards the future, and as we Guyanese look towards the future, we have another Independence Day coming up. I would like, and the GPP would like to see young people in Guyana being more involved, more excited about what's going on in their country, and realize that it's not the government that's going to determine your destiny, it's us, the people. Each and every one of us Guyanese is going to determine the future of this country. And if we care, and if we get involved, then we can help make Guyana a beautiful place. We can help make Guyana an industrialized nation. We can help make Guyana one of the best countries in the Caribbean to work in, where workers wouldn't have to seek opportunity outside the country. We can make Guyana a great place, but we have to struggle for it. It's not going to come to us. We have to struggle for it.
And that's really the hope of our nation, Jane. I mean, what is your hope?
My hope for the future is for the citizens to stop blaming the government and take that step now in the election coming, and go out, and all of us to go out here and put your vote where you think it's best, and stop throwing blames. And we should be inspired by Egypt. Everyone is inspired by Egypt. Why not take that inspiration now and go out and stand up for what you want? Don't just sit by idly and talk and talk and talk. Talk is not all. Action has to be done.
And that's great. And as the political side of this, I'm inspired every day as I deal with, listen to the new generation. And in studio today, actually, there's a young individual. As I close the program, come here for a second. As we think of the future, come around this way. As we think of all the future for our country, and you listen to Tanisha, and you listen to Vaughn, and you listen to Jane, look at her face, and this is our future. The fact is, if we're not taking care of Guyana today, not making Guyana a better place, working together to build our own Guyanese dream, to build the system that will give the jobs for Tinsley and Vaughn and Jane, that can help provide the education system for this young girl. Shakina, what else could we be doing for our country today? This is what we need to be doing for. Wake up every day and says, our children are today. If we don't treat them right today, they will not be there in the future to take care of us. And I want to be able to see you have access to computer labs in your school. And I would like to have you on this program one time to tell us what you would like to see when you grow up to these folks' age, not to my age, because I'm an old man, right? So thank you very much for watching the program. Be ready to be part of the system, as you have heard it in this today's show. Be part of it. Be ready to put your vote in the right place.